We turn now to the latest on the sexual assault allegations against Jay-Z, accused of sexually assaulting a then 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs at an after party back in 2000. Both men have denied all wrongdoing. Jay-Z's attorney holding a closed-door meeting with select members of the media yesterday, insisting, quote, "This never happened."
And joining us now is ABC News contributor and attorney Brian Buckmire for more on this story. Good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So Jay-Z's attorney has outlined what he believes are inconsistencies in the accuser's account of what happened. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so the major pillars I would say would be location, witnesses, details, and timeline. Location being that this allegedly started off at Radio City, and according to the alleged accuser, she said that she was in the car for 20 minutes before getting to Sean Combs' house where the after party was hosted, to a large white house in a U-shaped driveway. Now, if you're from the New York area and you know where Radio City is, 20 minutes in any direction does not get you to that kind of real estate. And that's what the attorney is pointing out here. Witnesses. The accuser again says that she saw specific people at that after party, but people were saying, no, this person was touring. The witnesses, the alleged accuser's own father says, I don't remember picking her up after a 5-hour drive from Rochester to New York after this night. And then details. She's saying that she watched the show on the Jumbotron, where on the VMAs of that year, there was no Jumbotron, and the timeline as to how this all could have occurred, the attorney is saying it doesn't match up based on where people were at specific times.
I'm curious your thoughts, because Jay-Z's attorney met with select members of the media. It was a closed-door meeting. What do you make of this strategy?
Well, initially, where were we in this closed meeting? That's what my thoughts are, right? But I think it's smart because this is a situation where it's not only in the court of law, but also the court of public opinion. And I think Alex, the attorney, is really pushing back on the court of public opinion to try to help the court of law arguments, because when you look at the timeline, you look at the details, yeah, there are some inconsistencies.
And the accuser has acknowledged some inconsistencies in her story. So how often does something like this happen in a case like this?
When it comes to sexual assault or rape cases where it's he said, she said, because it's so far ago, we're talking about an incident that has allegedly happened September 7th of 2000. It comes down to just the credibility of individuals. And people have issues with memory. It makes sense. I don't remember what I did on September 7th of 2000. But when some of these inconsistencies just go against the idea of just like geography, timeline, a fact that a father didn't even remember this, that's where I think there's some real issues for Tony Buzbee and the accuser's claims.
It's got to be a big blow for the case.
I would imagine so, but these aren't legal filings. This is just maybe a precursor to that. So we have to see what Alex Spiro ends up filing in court and what the response is from the Tony Buzbee and the accuser, and what the court decides.
When you look at the language from Jay-Z's attorney, it seems they're really trying to distance themselves from Diddy at this point. How important is that relationship between these two men?
It's everything. I mean, when I first thought about this, I thought to myself, what are all the sayings that we have just in our culture about guilt by association, show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are, birds of a feather flock together. At this point, Sean Combs is toxic from a legal standpoint in terms of his association with all of these civil lawsuits and a federal criminal investigation. So if you're a close friend of his, especially in the period of time when these allegations existed, you're definitely going to be looked at under a microscope. And so what Alex Spiro is doing is saying, hey, yeah, they're close friends, we admit that, it's public knowledge, but that friendship stops when we get to this whole freak-off issues and sexual assault and rapes.
Trying to make that separation. Brian, thank you very much. We appreciate it and good to see you.
My pleasure.